أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Lesson number 271, Surah Az-Zariyat, ayah number 1 to 60. Surah Az-Zariyat is a Makki surah. It has 60 verses only, and 360 words, and about 1200 huruf. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, by those that scatter and disperse. فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا, and those that carry a load. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, and those that flow with ease. فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, and those that apportion each matter. إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ, indeed what you have been promised is indeed true. وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, in all of these ayats, a qasm is being sworn. An oath is being taken. And it's being taken by several things. First of all, Adh-Dhariyat. Adh-Dhariyat is the plural of the word Dhariyah, from the root letters Dhal Ra Waw or Dhal Ra Hamza. And Dhara'a, Dharwun, is to blow, to separate, to scatter. Because when something is blown, then what happens? Things that were together, they are scattered. Dhara'atir rih is when the wind picks up the broken bits of something and blows them far away. These days you may have seen that so many leaves are falling. One windy day, and those leaves are everywhere, on the streets, in your front yard, in your backyard, all the way up to your door. And if you open your door sometimes, the leaves will also come inside. This is what dharu is. To blow, to scatter far away, to spread, to disperse. We have learned earlier, فَأَصْبَحَ هَشِيمًا تَذْرُوهُ الرِّيَاحِ, that the winds are breaking them into pieces, spreading them, blowing them, sweeping them away. So, Adh-Dhariyati dharwa. Adh-Dhariyat, what does Dhariyat refer to? The winds. The winds that blow and take away with them leaves, dust, clouds, and many other things, and carry them away, blowing them away. They scatter dust, they scatter clouds, they scatter leaves, and many other things, and they sweep them away, dispersing them across the sky, across the earth. وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا, and then by those that carry a load. Al-Hamilat, plural of Hamilah, from the root letters Hamim Lam. Hamal is to carry, to bear a burden. And Hamilah, one that carries, one that bears a burden. Wiqr. Wiqr is used for a load, a burden. It's the object of Hamilat. So Al-Hamilat, those that carry a heavy load. What does this refer to? Again, it refers to winds. Because winds, as they blow and as they scatter, what are they carrying? They're carrying huge loads. For instance, in the form of clouds. If you think about it, clouds that seem to be so light and fluffy, in reality they're carrying gallons and gallons of water. And if you try to carry even 2 gallons of water, it becomes heavy. If you try to carry a bottle of water even, a liter of water even, it becomes heavy after some time. But imagine the wind is carrying all that water in the form of clouds, and when the snow falls down in your driveway and you have to shovel it all, as you pick the snow, how heavy it is. Just imagine all that weight. Where was that? Up in the clouds. What was it being driven by? What was it being carried by? The wind. فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا, by the winds that carry a load, a heavy load. Elsewhere in the Quran we learn about the clouds. وَيُنْشِئُ السَّحَابَ الثِّقَالِ, clouds are described as thiqal, heavy ones. Wiqr. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, and by those that flow with ease. Al-Jariyat, plural of Jariyah, from the root letters Jim Ra Ya. Jara yajri is to flow, to move, to proceed. And Al-Jariyah, one that flows, one that proceeds. How does it flow? How does it proceed? Yusra, with ease, with facility, very smoothly, as if something very light is flowing. as if something very light is proceeding forward. What does it refer to again? The winds. That despite the fact that the winds are carrying such heavy loads in the form of clouds, vapor, water, snow, but when that wind blows, it blows so smoothly. It blows so easily. Every time the wind blows, is it violent? Not necessarily. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, those that blow with ease. فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, and by those that apportion each matter. Muqassimat, plural of muqassimah. And muqassimah is one who does taqseem. Muqassimah is ism fa'il. One who does taqseem. And what does taqseem mean? To divide, to apportion, to distribute. So by those that divide, that distribute, what do they distribute? Amran, decree, command, issue, matter. Which amr is this? This amr refers to the amr of rain. So فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ, meaning by the winds that blow, that carry the clouds, heavy clouds, and what happens? When they take them to a particular place, water falls down, snow falls down. How much? According to Allah's decree, according to the amr. فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, by those winds that apportion each matter, meaning each matter of rain. So when they bring rain, how much rain is it? According to the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In these ayat, a qasam is being taken. And what's the jawab of the qasam? إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ, indeed, whatever you have been promised, it is surely true. Whatever you have been promised. And what is it that you have been promised? Resurrection, day of judgment, thawab, iqab, eternity in the hereafter. All of that, it is lasadiq, it is surely one that is true, meaning it will definitely happen, there is no doubt about it. If you think about it, what is the purpose of taking an oath by something? What's the purpose of taking an oath by something? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by the wind. What's the objective? To show its importance, to highlight its importance. Sometimes it is also to give honor to that. Like for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the age of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لَعَمْرُكَ, by your life, by your age. So it is to honor the Prophet. Similarly, another reason of swearing by something is to present it as an evidence, is to present it as a dalil to what is being clarified, to what is being mentioned. So over here we see what is being mentioned, that whatever you have been promised is certainly true, it will definitely come about. And what's the evidence of that? Look at these winds. The winds that blow, scattering everything. Winds that blow, carrying these heavy clouds, bringing rain according to the command of Allah. These winds that blow so easily. And another reason behind swearing an oath by something is to make it a witness to the truth of what is being said. Like for example, when a person swears by Allah, what's the objective? That a person is making Allah a witness to the truth of what he is saying. Now over here we see that 4 types of winds are mentioned, or 4 functions of the winds are mentioned. 4 types of winds, or 4 functions of winds. That first of all they scatter, secondly they carry, thirdly they blow, and fourthly they also bring about rain. And these functions, or these different types of winds, over here they are being made a witness, or they are being presented as an evidence of this fact. Which fact? That the day of judgment is definitely going to come. How? Wind. Can you see it? Can you? You cannot see it. But can you feel it? Yes. Does it exist? Yes. Does it have any effect? Of course it does. It has great effects. Similarly, the day of judgment, many matters of the unseen, are they visible to us? No. Can we see them? No. Can anyone experience them and tell us that yes, I died and I saw the angel of death, and yes, there is barzakh, there is nar, there is jannah, there is a day of judgment, and then he comes back in time and he can tell us about that? No. It doesn't happen. Whatever we know of the day of judgment, the matters of the unseen, the Prophet ﷺ has informed us. We learn about it from the Qur'an. We don't see it. We don't necessarily experience it. But is it a reality? Of course it's a reality. Just as the wind is a reality, despite the fact that you don't see it. Similarly, the matters of the unseen, even they are a reality. Now these four things, وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, they have been understood as the wind only. And others have said that they refer to four different things. What are they? We learned that Ali ibn Abi Talib, he once stood on the mimbar in Kufa, and he declared that any ayah in the book of Allah and any sunnah from Allah's messenger you ask me about today, I will explain them to you. Meaning, you have any question about the Quran, any question about the sunnah, ask, inshallah I will answer. So one man, he stood up and he said, O leader of the faithful, Amirul Mu'mineen, what is the meaning of Allah's statement, وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا? What's the meaning of these statements? So he said, وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, it refers to the wind. فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا, it refers to the clouds. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, it refers to the ships. فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, it refers to the angels. How? ذَارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, understood. Winds that blow, that scatter, that spread. حَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا, clouds. What burden is it that the clouds carry? Water, vapor, moisture, hail, snow. Then, الْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, what does that refer to? He said, ships. Because the word جارية is also used for ship. إِنَّا لَمَّا طَغَى الْمَاء حَمَلْنَاكُمْ فِي الْجَارِيَةِ, we carried you in the ship. And فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, ships that sail on the surface of the water. And how do they sail? How do they proceed? So smoothly, so easily, so conveniently. فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, what does that refer to? The angels. Because the angels, what do? They obey the commands that they have been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they distribute the provision, they distribute the rain and other things across the land to all the servants of Allah. So, فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, the angels, they bring the winds, they bring the clouds, they bring the rain, they bring whatever that has to be brought. At the command of who? At the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah says, إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ, indeed that which you have been promised is surely true. Now if you think about it, the wind, the clouds, the ships, and also the angels, all of them are related to what? Rizq. The wind brings the clouds bring the rain. The ships also, they travel back and forth, transporting, exporting, importing different provisions from different places to different places. The angels also, they bring rizq at the command of who? At the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of this is related to rizq. Now, all of these things, who manages them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Above them is who? Allah. Who is the one who sends these winds that pick up and they blow and they scatter pollen, grain, so on and so forth? Who sends them? At the command of who do they come? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who has made the water system such that the vapor rises up forming clouds, and these clouds, they go from one place to the other bringing rain? Who has made that system? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, the ships. Who has caused the ships to float on water and a pin to drown in the water? Who has made the system? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who sends the angels? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is the one who is causing all of this to happen. And Allah is the one who will also bring about what you have been promised. إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ, indeed whatever you have been promised, it is indeed true. If Allah is causing the functions of the heavens and the earth to run so smoothly, so perfectly, managing the affairs of the heavens and the earth, He is the mudabbir, then He can also bring about the day of judgment. إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ. The Lord who enables the former, He will also enable this. What? The coming of the day of judgment. وَإِنَّ الدِّينَ, and indeed the recompense, it is لَوَاقِعٌ, it is surely to occur. Waqi', from the root letters, waw, qaf, ayn, waqa'a. And waqa'a is to happen, to fall, to occur. So وَإِنَّ الدِّينَ, indeed the recompense, the accounting, the requital on the Day of Judgment that is surely about to happen. Without doubt, it will take place. And that day, Maliki Yawmiddin will inform man of what he has done in this world. Was-samai, by the sky, Dhatil hubuk, containing pathways. Another qasam is being sworn. Was-samai, Dhatil hubuk, by the sky with all of its tracks. Al-hubuk is the plural of the word hibak, or it is the plural of the word habika. If you take the singular hibak, this is like mithal, and its plural is muthul. The plural of the word mithal is what? Muthul. Similarly, hibak, the plural is hubuk. What is hibak? Hibak is used for waves that form on sand or water caused by blowing of the wind. So basically, you have a sand dune and wind blows and you have waves on the sand. Isn't it so? And they're very similar to the waves, to the ripples that you see on the surface of the water as wind blows. You go by a lake and you see that the water is not just standing still. They're waves. Those waves, what are they caused by? By the blowing of the wind, by the blowing of the breeze. So, hibak are pathways or waves that form on sand or water by the blowing of the wind. It's also used for pathways that are between sand dunes. Pathways that are between sand dunes, because as the wind blows, it moves the sand. And it's literally like waves. You have a wave of a sand dune, then a pathway, and then a wave of another sand dune. So the pathways that you see in the middle, the lines that you see, what are they? Hibak. Secondly, the word hubuk is also understood as the plural of the word habika. Just as turuq is the plural of the word tariqa. Turuq, tariqa. Hubuk, habika. And what does habika mean? A pathway. Route. What is it? A pathway, a route. And habaka, the verb habaka, is to weave, to knit, to weave together. Habaka thawb. So was-samai dhatil hubuk. How do we understand this? By the heaven, by the sky, containing hubuk, containing waves or containing pathways. How do we understand this? First of all, it has been said that was-samai dhatil hubuk. Dhatil hubuk means having zina, having beauty, having a beautiful form. Because if you look up to the sky, what do you see in the sky? Is it just a plain blue sky? No. You see so many lines in the sky in the form of various clouds. As the sun is rising, as the sun is setting, you look up to the sky during the day, sometimes during the night even. What do you see in the sky? Lines. And sometimes those lines are white in the form of clouds. Sometimes, yes, there are clouds, but because of the rising of the sun, setting of the sun, you see shades of orange and pink and purple and red. So this is the beauty of the sky, dhatil hubuk. The designs that you see in the sky that are constantly changing. And they're like tracks. And sometimes you see the sky is covered in clouds, but those clouds are what? They have literally tracks in them. Just as the tracks that you see in water, in sand even. So was-samai dhatil hubuk, by the sky having zina, dhatu zina. It has been said that it's hubuk, it's beauty. What is it? It's nujum, the stars that are in the sky. The stars that are in the sky. Secondly, it has been said was-samai dhatil hubuk. Hubuk means pathways. Pathways of what? Pathways of various planets, stars, galaxies, their orbits. So there are pathways in the sky. Was-samai dhatil hubuk. And even if you think about it, all of these galaxies that are in the sky, the stars that are in the sky, if you think about it, what do they look like? Like a piece of cloth in which these jewels, these stars have been woven together. And I told you one of the meanings of habaka. What does habaka mean? To weave. So the sky that is above us, it is clear, it is firm in its structure, it is spacious, it is graceful, but at the same time, it is also so beautiful. It is full of beauty. And what is its beauty with? With its stars, the sun, the orbiting planets, its celestial bodies, the colorful streaks. And these colorful streaks that are ever changing throughout the day, throughout the night, in different seasons. And in the sky, there are millions and millions of stars and galaxies, and they appear to be woven together as if in a textile cloth. As if they're woven together, like small glittering pieces in a textile cloth. So, وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْحُبُكِ, by the sky containing pathways, by the sky containing a lot of beauty. إِنَّكُمْ, indeed you, لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ, you are in differing speech. This is a jawab qasam. That you, O people, you are in differing speech. Meaning your speech is different. Everyone says something different. Every person's speech varies from the speech of the other. إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ. That just as there are different tracks and waves in the sky, that the pathway of the moon, the sun, the different stars are unique to themselves. They don't share them with others. Similarly, your speech is also different. Your speech is also different. There are pathways in the sky, various pathways, then your speech is also different. Now, which speech is this referring to? What qawl is this? This qawl may be understood as with regards to the matter of the Prophet ﷺ, with regards to the matter of the Qur'an, with regards to the matter of Aqidah, of the hereafter. Because we see that the mushrikeen of Makkah, did they have one opinion concerning the Prophet ﷺ? No. They didn't just say one thing about him. Some called him a poet, some called him a magician, some called him a kahin, majnoon. So people had qawlim mukhtalif concerning the Prophet ﷺ. Secondly, qawlim mukhtalif has also been understood as that you are of diverse, differing opinions when it comes to your belief, when it comes to your aqidah. Remember that the mushrikeen, all of them didn't have the same belief. They differed in their beliefs as well. Some believed that the angels were Allah's daughters. Others denied the concept of angels. Some believed that there will be a hereafter, which is why they used to worship idols, thinking that they would be their shufa'a. They would be their intercessors. But we learn from other places in the Qur'an that other mushrikeen had no concept of the hereafter. They completely rejected its possibility. So, إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ, you are in differing speech. Some say one thing about the Prophet ﷺ, others say another thing about him. Some have one opinion about the Day of Judgment, others have another opinion about the Day of Judgment. This was the case at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and this is also the case today. People have varying opinions, different opinions. يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ, deluded away from it. Man ufik, is he who is deluded. You better revise your grammar. Otherwise it will be very difficult for you to understand these ayat. You won't be able to enjoy them. يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ, يُؤْفَكُ, this is majhul. He will be deluded from it. Who will be deluded from it? Man ufika, the one who is already deluded. يُؤْفَكُ, Hamza fa kaf, ifk. What does ifk mean? To turn something away from its original direction. Like for example, a car driving in the snow, all of a sudden it skids, and what happens? It takes a whole U-turn. It was going a particular direction, and then it just turns around completely. This is what ifk is. So يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ, he is deluded away from it. From what? From what? From the Qur'an, from the Prophet, from the haqq, from the hereafter. Who is turned away from believing in it? Man ufika, the one who is already deviated. Meaning, despite the fact that there are varying opinions concerning the Prophet ﷺ amongst the people. Some people call him majnoon, others call him sha'ir, others call him so on and so forth. Varying opinions people had concerning him. But who will be affected by those opinions? The one who is already deluded. The one who is already astray. Because those who use their mind, those who were in search of truth, despite the many opinions about the Prophet ﷺ, did they not find him? Did they not believe in him? Of course. There were people who, when they came to Makkah, what were they told? Don't go to that man. Don't listen to him. You'll be affected by his magic. And what did they do? Seal their ears, close their ears, so that they wouldn't even hear the words of the Prophet ﷺ. But eventually what happened? Like, I am a wise person, I can use my mind. They didn't get affected by that false propaganda. All that false propaganda was there. But who gets affected by it? The one who is already astray. The one who is already ufika. Because the one who uses his mind, he will find his way to the truth. Similarly, we see the story of Salman al-Farisi. How he was in search of the truth. But did he get lost in different things? No. يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ مَنْ أُفِكْ. The truth is clear. But in this false propaganda that exists, in so much falsehood that exists, a person will find the way to the truth, the one who really wants the way to the truth. And if we take the second meaning of this ayah, إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ, that qawli mukhtalif refers to the various beliefs that people have. This is the case today as well. يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ, who is deluded because of it. Anhu then is understood as because of it. Because of this qawli mukhtalif, because of these varying beliefs that exist within people. Who will be deluded because of them? Who will be led astray because of them? The one who is already astray. The one who is already turned away. The one who is already deviated. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not wrong any person. That a person wants guidance and yet Allah forces misguidance upon him. No. What do we learn in the Quran? فَلَمَّا زَاغُوا أَزَاغَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ. When a person himself chooses the wrong way, then Allah deviates his heart. The person who wants guidance, Allah will show him the way to guidance. And a person who doesn't want it, Allah will not force it upon him. So we see over here that yes, there is a lot of falsehood that exists in the world. Many different religions, many different faiths, many different opinions. And these days, people are being bombarded with new and new opinions every single day. But who gets affected by them? Those who are already astray. Those whose mind is already affected, is already deluded. Because a person who wants the truth, in this confusion even, he will see the truth. This is why we make dua, Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ah wa arina al-batila batilan warzuqna ijtinab. That in the midst of all of this confusion, we can see the truth, we can follow the truth. Give us that ability and make us recognize falsehood as it is, so that we can avoid it. So يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ مَنْ أُفِكْ. Who is turned away from the truth? The one who is already turned away. Because Allah does not do injustice on any person. And what is the way of holding on to the truth despite all of the falsehood that exists? That a person holds on to the Quran and Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ told us that I leave amongst you two things, that if you hold on to them, you will not go astray. What are they? The Quran and Sunnah. And if you think about it today, in these days, every other day you hear something new. You hear some new thing coming up. Even the Quran people have not left. That when it comes to the Quran, even people are coming up with new interpretations, new translations, new meanings. So, in this confusion, what are you supposed to do? Hold on to the Quran and Sunnah. Because the one who is already deviated, only that person will get affected. قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاصُونَ. Destroyed are the falsifiers. قُتِلَ, meaning لُعِنَ. He has been killed. This is an expression which means may he be cursed, may he be destroyed. قُتِلَ. قُتِلَ who? الْخَرَّاصُونَ. Who are خَرَّاصُونَ? خَرَّاصُونَ is the plural of خَرَّاص, from the root letters خَ, را, صاد. And خَرْص is to guess, to tell a lie. It is basically to guess the weight of, or to guess the amount of the fruit that is still on the trees. That a person goes to a farm or a garden, an orchard, right? And he sees the trees and he says, I think it's going to weigh this much. What evidence does he have? He doesn't have any evidence. This is what? A guess. And if people are left to making such guesses, then what's going to happen? Each person is going to come up with a different guess. Each person is going to come up with a different guess. Like for example, if I were to ask you, how many ml do you think this water is? Each person will have a different opinion. Why? Because you're using assumption, conjecture, not any evidence. So, قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاسُونَ. Kharras is used for a liar. Why? Because he's saying what he's saying on the basis of assumption without any evidence. So, who are kharrasun? Kharrasun are understood as those who lie. Those who lie concerning who? Concerning the Prophet ﷺ. When they say about him that he's a sahir, or that he's a kadib, that he's majnoon, this is what? A lie about him. And if they call him a sahir, then this is what? This is just their guess. And it's a guess that is false. That doesn't have any reality to it. قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاسُونَ. The falsifiers, may they be destroyed. Now, we see that in the time that we live in today, there are so many people who are considered as intellectuals, who are considered as highly educated, who are considered as experts and knowledgeable. But we see that most of what they say, most of what they base their researches on, most of what they base their conclusions on is what? Theories. Theories. Can you prove a theory? You cannot prove a theory. What is a theory? It's just an assumption. For example, the theory of evolution. That man was, once upon a time, some other creature, and then over time, he has turned into something else. And this is the case with every other creature as well. That once upon a time, it was something different. If you think about it, it began as what? As a theory. But today, it is accepted as a fact. Today, it's accepted as a fact. Now, we see that many people today, they base their lives, they base their beliefs, they base their actions, their morals, their values on what? On this theory. That man was once upon a time some other creature. People evolve, societies evolve, and this is why people have been led to so many false things, such as false beliefs. This has put an end to faith, literally. People have lost faith in religion. This theory of evolution, people believe in it so firmly that they don't believe in the existence of God. They don't believe in the concept of religion. When they don't believe in the existence of God and the concept of religion, what will happen to their morals? What will happen to their values? How will they view one another? Since this has come about, since people have lost faith, this atheism has come about, how much destruction, how much loss people have suffered. Killing other human beings has become perfectly fine. Why? Just for your own benefit. Survival of the fittest. We are the most fit. We have to survive. If it means we have to kill thousands of people, doesn't matter. We need these resources, we will take them. Because this is how the world functions. Isn't it so? So, قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاسُونَ. May they be cursed because they have caused so much destruction, so much loss. And since people have started believing in these things, look at the moral decline that people are suffering from. This has led to the religion, literally, of hedonism, that people just follow their desires. There's no God, no accountability in the hereafter. Just do whatever you please. You're an animal, just like other animals. So follow your desires. Just as they follow their desires, do whatever you wish. Do whatever pleases you. You don't need to follow a religion. You don't need to follow a book that was revealed 1400 years ago. You don't have to limit yourself to the laws of a religion. This is what they say. So, قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاسُونَ. This is why Allah says, destroyed are the falsifiers, who base their lives on falsehood, who lie. Because when they base their lives on falsehood, what do they suffer from? Loss in dunya and also in the akhirah. This loss is evident in dunya, in the form of the destruction that has been caused. And the loss of the hereafter also, قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاسُونَ. May they be cursed.